Welcome back to New Year's Resolutions from the Heart. We are on step number 5, and this is scheduling your action steps. You are going to pull out your calendar, literally, and you are going to ink in when you're going to take your action steps. When in your schedule are you going to fit these changes in? Now, the other thing I encourage you to do at this point too is to look at your full year, because there's probably going to be times when you need to up it a little bit. So for example, you're going to run a marathon. You might say, hey, I'm going to get up to 10 miles in the first 2 months, then I'm going to get up to 20 miles by month 6 or whatever it is. And you want to write that in so that you're reminded of it as you go through the year. New Year's resolutions are often lost, I know. But one of the things that will help you not lose them is to have reminders of what you're working on in your calendar already in place. Now, maybe you've set several goals for different areas of your life. So maybe you're thinking, you know what, for the first 3 months, I'm really going to get set with all of my health goals. I'm going to get my habits ingrained for exercise and eating better. And then the second quarter, if you will, I'm going to look at my financial goals and I'm going to begin working on those. Write that in your calendar. So you're going to write in the beginning of April, you're going to write, now it's time to shift to financial goals, okay? And to put my attention on those. So however you want to break it down, now's the time to do it. And if you have questions, feel free to comment in our Facebook community. If you haven't signed up yet, you sign up at Erdman-Luntz.com/NYR, and you can join the Facebook community to continue the conversation. And I'm happy to help you with this. Now, I don't say this very often, so I want you to enjoy this moment. You want to keep the action steps small and build on them. So if you're thinking, hey, I'm so excited, I'm going to exercise 6 days a week, just say 2. Just start with 2. You got a lot of time to work on this, okay? If you're thinking, I'm going to exercise an hour and a half a day, how about 20 minutes? Start smaller. I'm going to start drinking a whole gallon of water a day. How about just starting with a glass of water before breakfast and making sure you get 3 more throughout the day? So you're more than where you were, but maybe not quite where you want to be. And that's where putting it in the calendar and saying, now I'm going to up my quantity in 3 weeks to remind you will be helpful. Now, the reason for this is it's much easier to sustain these smaller actions rather than the big sweeping quantum leap changes. Now, that said, let me also add, if you are really ready for a quantum leap, you're like, oh my God, Laura, you don't get it. I am in a place where I'm ready for it all to change tomorrow. By all means, do it. Absolutely do it. There have been 3 times in my life I have sustained a quantum leap where I just woke up and I was ready for all new stuff and I was ready for that energy and I did it. Other times I've done it and it's lasted maybe a week or 2 and then I've, gone back, if you will. And that's okay. That week or 2 made a shift and a difference in me. So it was still powerful. And it's just important if you do fall back, if you will, that you see it as, wow, that was an amazing experience. And now I'm going to go more slowly in a sustainable way rather than saying, oh man, I failed again, because that's not what it's about. Okay. So it's really important that you remember that. Now, this is also when the rubber hits the road. Okay, we talked a little bit about that in the last video, but this is when we're talking you're actually going to change something. For something to happen, there is a chance that you are going to need to change some things. Guaranteed. I take it back. I like to say if something's going to change, something has to change. In order to add something to your life, something is going to need to give. Maybe it means getting up earlier in the morning, so losing out on some sleep, not being able to snooze. Maybe it means having to get to bed earlier in order to get up earlier, or watching less TV, deleting Netflix off of your phone. I have had to do that in the past. You also may have some shifting relationships. So you might have some relationships that really represent where you were and not where you're going, and that doesn't sustain where you're going. You might need to let go of some of those or change the time that you spend with them. Now, when it starts to get hard, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go back to read number 2 and number 3. That's your big dream for your life and your vision for 1 year from today. So when you start sleeping in the morning, you start shirking on those action steps, which will probably happen. I certainly don't want to plant the seed that's definitely going to happen, but there's a good chance. And when it happens, I want you to say, oh, you know what? Laura said this could happen, and I'm ready to not, right? Like I'm ready to move into a space to keep going. And the only way you can do that is through the inspiration of your results, what it is you're looking for and why you're looking forward to it. All right? So for today, you are scheduling your actions literally like in the day. When are you going to fit them in, as well as looking at the overall calendar to see if there are times when you need to be reminded of steps that you are working on. You ready? If you have any challenges here, I definitely recommend watching the yoga and essential oils. The step 4 and 5 have the same yoga and essential oils that go with them, because those things will help you with this step tremendously. All right, so I look forward to step number 6 with you. I hope this helps inspire you to ignite your life and take the next step into your extraordinary life. Thanks for joining me.